I'll tell you what, if there's something that these bushfires have shown us, it is the true Aussie spirit. Thousands are rallying behind victims, spending days on end, helping those who have been left with absolutely nothing.
Yeah, among them Army reservists who have been given the call-up to assist, including former Prime Minister Tony Abbott, who's coming face-to-face with the flames. Today's Gabrielle Boyle spoke with Mr Abbott and joins us now from Milton in New South Wales. Gabby, good morning to you. You're doing a terrific job out there covering the fires for us. What did he have to say?
Yeah, Carl Ali, he wanted into the Nowra RFS headquarters like any other bloke, really. He had no entourage, just another man in a yellow suit volunteering and trying to do his bit. Has to be said, I don't think he was overly keen to see our camera waiting to capture him there. He tried to sneak in. He really wasn't looking for a great deal of attention. Look, let's take a look at how it all unfolded. Morning, Tony. How are you doing?
Fronting up at the front line, former Australian PM Tony Abbott.
How are you? Good, thank you.
Arriving at the Rural Fire Services staging centre in Nowra with a cheeky greeting for Army reservists.
So Scramo's troops have arrived. Well done. Good on you, fellas. Hey, Tony. How's it going? Good to see you.
A pat on the shoulder, handshakes and a bit of banter. A far cry from the reception the current PM has received of late.
What about the people who have nowhere to live?
Unlike Morrison, Abbott can pick up a hose, literally.
No. Look, just along with 70,000 other volunteers, that's all.
Among those thousands of volunteers, reservists.
So I'm from up in Dee-Why, yeah, and we came down and staged at Holsworthy, and then we came down here yesterday afternoon.
Does it feel good to put your training into action?
Yeah, absolutely. We had the fires come through on New Year's Eve, so our farm fared better than most, so it's great to have an opportunity to give back to others who weren't as fortunate.
Floating some, some food and some perishables as well for those that needs it most, and getting it to the right people.
From Nowra, down the newly opened highway to Milton Showgrounds. Here, dozens of strangers have volunteered their time to unload, sort and stack supplies.
They've come down today with 6 trucks, including clothing, obviously water, toiletries, non-perishable food, the whole lot. So
just strangers sending trucks from Sydney with gear for you?
Yeah, pretty much.
How are the arms, mate?
Getting sore, getting tired.
How long have you been going for?
Since 6 a.m. this morning.
And where have you come from?
Cronulla in the Shire. Yeah, so Miranda we loaded all this from. Put the light one up at the hay.
And what's inside the truck?
We've got toilet paper, clothes, food, plenty of water. I know they're running out of that gear and just essentials really.
Aussies pulling their weight in whatever way they can.
Carl Ali, it was certainly a very different Tony Abbott to the man I interviewed a few months back for the Today Show in the lead up to the federal election in Manly in Sydney. He was certainly much more relaxed, much more at peace with what he was doing. It could be said that it's a bit of a shame that our politicians aren't a bit more authentic more of the time, because he really seemed like any other Australian bloke there.
Yeah, good on you, Gabby. Thank you for that. An interesting insight. I actually ran into Tony a couple of months ago as well, right at the start of this bushfire season, and I was talking to him about it, and he truly loves it. He loves being part of a team. He's one of just a team out there, and he loves fighting fires and putting in. And I just think, I don't think I've ever seen in the history for a long, long time the country come together, and certain people have lifted and they've led without really wanting acknowledgement for it, as well as some of our state and federal leaders who have been around the edges and who are doing a terrific job. But the country's coming together.
But I disagree, because I think that always happens when there is a crisis in this country. I think every time we see floods in Queensland, when we see cyclones, when we see drought, that's what we do best.
Well, this is unprecedented, this one, though, isn't it? No, we haven't seen it on this scale.
No, I mean, and talking about camaraderie, my mates, I've got a few mates in WA who are firefighters as well, and they just wanted to get over here to help out. And, you know, we are a bit further away in Perth, in WA, but it's reaching them too. And I've been receiving messages saying, what can we do, how can we help? And that's all the way from WA too.
It's so incredible. And I think, you know, real leaders are made in times of crisis, aren't they? I mean, anyone can stand up and lead when the country's doing well, or when you're going around kissing babies and shaking hands. But, you know, when you're out there on the front line, or when things get tough, that's when we decide who our real leaders are.
Anna Bligh was a great example of that, don't you think, after the Queensland floods?
The other thing, and we're not going to talk about it right now, but it's worth talking about and thinking about at some point, is the fact that there are so many volunteers, but I think there's going to be a desire from a lot of people to start joining this. And do we start educating our kids earlier? Is it part of the curriculum? If we're going to live in a nation where these things happen, do we start that earlier? Do we run programs where we get more people involved in the CFA?
But you know what, we do that now, the country's burnt. We're probably not going to have another big bushfire season like this for years to come because there's nothing left to burn.
No, I think it just comes around, you know. I mean, it just every now and then, it might be 10, 15 years, but at least the education is there. Let us know what you think about that on our social media platforms, and we'll get you some details on how you can join the CFA, which is important too.